Previously on Building Forceworld.
I must say though, this is not working out too bad. Look at this. That is pretty accurate, what the heck? Looking solid, then I simply copy this over to the other side. Look at that. I didn't actually measure if this will fit, but I mean... What? I mean, all the money problems aside, it looks so nice. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to this exciting new episode of Building Forceworld. Today, we're gonna be building some Imperial vehicles. As you know, in Endor, we definitely need an AT-ST. They're super iconic and just look very badass. And I'd also like to build one of those Imperial shuttles, because we do see one on Endor. That also means, however, we do need to finish the platform first. Exciting stuff, so let's get straight into it. Let's move all the way over here and begin building an AT-ST. I suppose let's begin over at the feet. I am very curious how accurate we can end up making this guy, but I already have a pretty good feeling about this. Let's already paint all of this metal, so at least we have somewhat the right color. And then just like this, we'll have to work our way up its leg. And I'm really trying to add just the smallest details, such as that right there. Okay, well, that seems to be one leg. This is actually really boring work. It's constantly the same type of stuff, really. Makes it kind of difficult to show as well. Anyway, up here, this is where the head is supposed to be on, and we definitely have some interesting angles going on here. But I am confident we can make it work somehow. Hey, yo. This is starting to look like it a lot, actually. Then let's put all the details on the back side of this as well, just like that. That is definitely starting to look quite nice. Tiniest of details, here you go. That actually looks pretty nice. Then the only big thing left are these guns at the sides. Those definitely give the whole thing some shape as well, so let's kind of try and make them. Technically though, it's just a bunch of cylinders, I guess. There's nothing quite special to these guns. And the other side is just kind of a boring tube element. There you go. That is not even so bad. But I'm pretty sure those flaps on the top are the last detail we need, and then it's done. I don't know about you guys, but that to me looks exactly like an AT-ST. The proportions may not be perfect, but actually still pretty close, I would say. That turned out pretty sweet, and now let's put it somewhere in the park. Like I said in the previous episode, I was hoping I could put one here, but I hope the local item limit allows it. Let's try it out. Yes! That is a solid 20k right there. And then we just grab the head and put that on top, just like so. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, look at that. Is that not just dope? Now it's Endor. All of a sudden, just BAM! Instant Endor. Oh, that's so cool. I can just rearrange its limbs, so to speak, to make sure it really fits just the stance and landscape. Obviously, right here needs to be tilted just slightly to make sure it's nicely balanced. There you go. And then what I also like to do is add one that's just kind of destroyed, like a wreckage. Obviously, the Ewoks did destroy one or two. I just hope this is possible. It is. Okay. So far, so good. And we only need one leg for this. The rest is just kind of gone under the ground. Well, dude, we'll just add a second leg right here. It's kind of... Oh! And right next to it, some tiny little rocks, as if this is the dirt that's kind of been going around it. Like it just fell down really hard into this. If that right there isn't just dope as hell, I don't know what is. Then next, the Imperial shuttle. However, of course, you guys know that first we need to finish this platform because it's gonna be on top of this. So, well, I suppose let us get to work. As you probably already saw coming, this is also going to be the station for the monorail, or at least another station. The only very sad and quite annoying thing is that stations can only be on grid, which this of course is not. That means the station is going to be a fake station, it just keeps going through that station. That's maybe not as nice, but it's better than having stations just straight. That's just very weird. Now, first of all, I did decide that this has to go past the actual platform, because otherwise we can't build that. And that seems to be pretty nice. I suppose first let's do those cone pieces right here. That's the kind of stuff that gives it the most shape. Then right here, let's make the first bridge element. It's quite basic, really. These technically have to be a tad skinnier, I would say. But since we do want to have the ability for people to actually walk on here, I feel like we should make it a bit wider, a bit more bulky. Just putting on these yellow fences. And this may be a bit overkill, but you know how we do stuff around here. Besides, I don't think we can add much more detail to this anyway, because it is kind of a boring building. Then we want those wedges below, and that should be pretty much it for those little segments, apart from maybe some lights inside, just like the original. And then we can just do this, and boom! Lovely. Very, very, very lovely. Check that out. However, what we do need to remember is one of these tubes has to be hollow, because I mean, we still have to get up here somehow. I'm gonna use the exact same tube effect I used on the other station as well. The first monorail station with the staircase inside. And let's make a hole for the door right here, and the same thing down here below. It is a bit of a small space, but I'm sure we can somehow make a staircase work. Just the same thing we did before, nice and simple. I have to say though, not many things are as satisfying as this connecting. Just look at that. The only thing is, I do hope we end up on the right side at the top, because that is very hard to control with this kind of stuff. Anyway, all of that I'll make pretty later. First, let's fix this bridge. Let's say this ramp needs to be about this high, I would say. And I did make sure the train goes very, very slow on this track piece, so it's not a real station, but at least it does something. We can easily get on, so it's fine. Let's add some of these caution stripes here as well, because it looks cool, I think. See, this actually looks quite solid. It's not even that distracting either. However, we do of course need these walls, just like the original. The only thing is, we're just gonna have to assume that people don't yeet themselves down this ginormous cliff. That, I suppose, is the only true design flaw in this. I guess we'll have to just add a fence that opens up once the train arrives. I don't know any other way. You guys know by now, I do like to stretch reality, but this goes a bit too far. The fact of people just randomly dying doesn't seem fantastic, I'm not gonna lie. Here, I think something simple like this shouldn't be too bad. And then to really give the right idea, I'll just add simple doors in here, just like so. These, of course, are all motorized. That seems a lot safer. Let's have one more test run to see if this really fits. Oh. Imagine if now we didn't have the move tool. I believe it was about this far, wasn't it? I might spice all of this up later, but first I want to build the top of this, because this is already taking long enough. Essentially on top here we just need a bunch of yellow markings that I guess are landing indicators. Then we need a smaller circle within that big circle. It's kind of like a crosshair actually. I'll copy that over to the other side. Boom. Delete the dark spots. And that is pretty lovely. I do think some of these gray underlines are necessary as well to give it some texture. I won't replicate the exact same thing, but just some markings. As a finishing touch, the fence around it, and then that's pretty much it seems. That's not true. I lied. There's these lights, like the pole lights on the side. I'm gonna keep it relatively simple though. Something like this should be fine. Then we need one on each corner. 2, 3, and number 4. And well then, that is definitely looking quite nice. Add some different stuff to the landscape as well. Otherwise it's all quite green and brown, which is not ideal. That's taken longer than expected, but now we can finally build the Imperial shuttle. However, first, if you'd like to support this channel just an extra little bit, consider using my star code Benji at your next Robux purchase. This way I get a small extra commission from Roblox without any further costs to you. I'd highly appreciate it. And now let's get back to the shuttle. Well, look who's decided to join. Let us begin, ladies and gentlemen. This ship does seem to have some more straightforward shapes and curves, so I think it's going to be a bit easier than the AT-ST, actually. See, the body itself is really just quite simplistic. I like it. I can get used to that. I'm already dreading the Millennium Falcon. That thing is just gonna be so insane. Gotta love how there's always just a bunch of random tubes on ships like these. The backside, however, is a bit tricky, but nothing we can't handle. Then this is where the top wing is gonna be attached to, it seems. I just have to make sure to add all those nice smooth edges to all of these pieces. Here you go. Look how smooth that is. There is also a whole bunch of detail on the back, the really tiny kind of stuff. The engines on the back are actually very simplistic. It's just kind of this, and then that times 2, like so. That is quite, I mean, that's pretty much it. It doesn't have the nice roundness to them, but that is just gonna be too much work, so let's not do that. And then back here on the front, guess what? some more guns. What a surprise, ladies and gentlemen. Well, I mean, that looks so far pretty accurate, especially like the backside. It's very clean. Anyway, now let's try the head, I guess.
3 days later.
Building that just now was an absolute disaster. I'm sorry for not recording anything, but this was absolutely terrible. I had to do the whole thing 3 times over because I kept getting the skill wrong. It is close enough now, I guess. It's not amazing. It's fine. Then I guess let's start the wings. This, guys, should be fairly easy. I hope. It better be after all that. Then this is where the really large part begins. As for the height, let's do something like this. Okay, so far so good. There you go. Then on this edge right in between the 2 layers of wing, I'm gonna add some details like this. And then we can just copy this layer and put it on the other side like so. And there you go. That is a pretty cool looking wing. Then I suppose we have to begin the actual wings on the sides now. And because they're not symmetrical, I'm gonna have to do everything on both sides separately, which is just fantastic, isn't it? I truly hope this is gonna work. Doing these ginormous wing shapes is really satisfying though, I can't lie. But mostly because you can make these pieces just very, very large. It's your boy Teachman again. I'm not gonna lie, I think this is pretty good actually. It does need some detail on the wings, but apart from that, looks pretty close. And we only still need those guns on the sides here, and then we can move this over to the other side. Make sure it's oriented the right way, like this. And then, ladies and gentlemen... Wait, we still need landing gear. Never mind. Guys, we didn't run into the local item limit once. Not a single time. That's actually a first, I think. Second one right here, and then there you have it. Oh, guys, I can't help it. I just need to know what this looks like with the wings out. I'm gonna delete this later, obviously, but I just want to know. Here you go. There's the whole thing again. And this one would be flying, so we don't need the landing gear for now. Then, if I grab this wing and simply rotate it around this axis, look at the sheer... Wait a minute. Second one. Guys, look at the sheer badassery of this freaking ship, dude. That came out so great. I must say this was one of the least fun things to build so far. It was quite painful, but I almost want to say it was worth it because, dude, we have to put it like this somewhere in the park. I don't know where, somewhere later at some point, but oh... look at that. But this one too, just, oh, this is where the true inner Star Wars fan just comes out. It's so cool. Anyway, guys, for today, I think that is quite enough. I also wanted to make some speeder bikes, but I guess that's gonna be a next episode because this has taken an insane amount of time. But it was worth it because it looks dope as hell. In the next episode, it's either gonna be the Ewok village down there, or it's gonna be the complete full station for this ride, along with all the interior and everything, the launch, all that sort of stuff. I haven't decided yet which one of those is gonna be, but I guess you'll see soon enough. If you liked this video, make very sure to leave a like, subscribe, hit the bell not to miss a single future video, and then I hope I'll see you in the next episode of Building Forceworld.